Hello and welcome to the Story Engine podcast. My name is Kyle Gray, and today on the show we have James Feldman. James is a master speaker and serial entrepreneur, and more recently, expert in AI platforms. And today we're going to talk about one of his most interesting platforms, something that I get asked about all of the time from people that I work with. How do I find more stages to speak on? James has created an incredible tool that we're going to explore and learn about today to help you find more curated, perfect stages for your message and for your speaking. So without any further ado, let's hand it over to James. James Feldman, welcome to the Story Engine podcast.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
James, you have a unique blend of some of my favorite things in this world. You're a renowned speaker, and you are on the forefront of AI in many different ways. And we get to talk about blending those two worlds together today. But before we dive in to the real meat and potatoes of this, will you just tell us a little bit about who you are and how you're showing up in the world today for those that might not know you yet?
So I've been a serial entrepreneur since I was 7 years old. I am always looking inside the box rather than outside the box. And when I'm inside the box looking at a problem or an opportunity, I try to figure out how to monetize it. If I can't make money from it, if it doesn't give me pleasure or payback, I don't do it. And so I run that test on everything that I do. And I've been fortunate enough to enjoy a very nice life because I don't get distracted with things that get in my way, but things that help boost me forward into whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish.
Do you have a name for this test? Is it the inside the box test?
It's called the 3D thinking. Think inside the box. If you go to the metaphor of the box, and let's assume for a moment it's a gift, and I give you the box, all gift wrapped with a pretty bow. And I say, Kyle, do you want the box or do you want $10? How do you make a decision? You don't know what's in the box. The thinking outside the box says, we have no idea what's in the box. Therefore, all we're doing is relying on intuition or history. So in that scenario, you go, oh, well, I'm going to guess it's worth more than $10, so you're going to turn me down. Kyle, I'll give you $100 or what's in the box. Well, now I've kind of pushed it a little bit. You say no again. Kyle, I'll give you $1,000 or what's in the box. You know you're definitely going to get the $1,000. And you're making a decision based on the offer rather than the contents. So you don't know what's in it. So the smart thing is, can I hold the box? Can I shake the box? Can I smell the box? Sure. So you pick up the box. The box seems to be heavy. You shake it. You hear something's inside. Now you've got some additional information to base your decision. You still haven't gone inside the box. If I say I'll let you inside the box, then everything about that will be predicated on what you've learned by going inside the box, and you may decline the $1,000 because what was in the box is worth more than that. Or you may quickly decide on the $1,000 because what's in the box didn't have that same value, and you're happy to take the $1,000 and run away. But you did it as an informed decision. So the first D is depth. What can you learn by going inside the box? Can you move the components around, get them out of their way, look at how they interact, and apply simple math? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Because 90% of all problems can be solved by reordering the components themselves. While you're inside the box, you look outside, you go, hey, wonder what the market will pay for this. Because the truth is, if you can't come up with any kind of value proposition, then why are you doing it? That's the distance. And the third part is the determination. How determined are you? How much money do you have? How much bandwidth do you have? How much financial reserves do you have to take this forward? What has changed this discussion is AI. Because now AI gives you a lens, a filter, an assistant that can diagnose what's inside that box better than you ever have done on your own.
Love that. I'd love to both explore AI more, but first, I think this is a really interesting system and framework. And I'm curious if you have examples of maybe challenging or uncommon decisions that you made based on this framework, where maybe the world was pointing one way and you went a different way based on this. I'd love to hear an example before your use in AI, and then I'd love to transition into one that AI has supported this and brought new layers of insights to you.
So pre-COVID, everything was analog. Post-COVID, everything is digital. And everything being digital means AI. So it's gone beyond our typical digital. I don't make a single decision, including what movie to see, what to put on my pizza, what time I should go outside and go for a walk, without consulting or discussing it with AI. And I do that because I've named my chat GPT as an assistant and I talk to it in that framework. And my assistant is named Mr. Spock because it was only logical. And Mr. Spock and I have conversations. Should I do this? What do you think of that? Etc. I'm not saying that I accept everything that Mr. Spock says, but it is giving me a very good insider look at all of the ramifications, and in many cases offers me a course down a path that I would not have thought of on my own.
I'd love to hear. Tell me about one of these paths. I'm so curious.
So I just did a talk for the Restaurant Association, and I said to them, how many of you are using ChatGPT? Roughly 50%. How many of you are paying for ChatGPT? Almost none. Now that's interesting because ChatGPT is having a huge problem, and that is that it's processing billions of prompts. 300 to 400 million a day are coming from the US, and the majority of the customers are not paying the $20. How long is that model sustainable? How long can they keep throwing money in it and not get people to pay? So they're making a huge mistake. And the mistake is you haven't converted the uninitiated to see the value proposition of spending $20. And yet that same customer will go to a Starbucks and spend $8 on a cup of coffee. They'll spend $12 by throwing some cream and some sugar and some other goodies on top and not give it another thought. But for some reason, ChatGPT can't get the people to spend the $20 for the single best investment that they will ever have in their business life.
Did you make that value proposition to them? Did you what did you assert to them from
To
this?
who?
We have
ChatGPT?
No, to the Restaurant Association. Did
Well,
you say you
in the
probably
call, I showed them things that were mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
When I say mind-blowing, there were gasps. There were all kinds of things that made a huge, huge difference.
Hold
I think
on,
we
we
just
may have
lost our video.
We just lost our video.
Let's stop it for a second and figure out why.
Countdown. Oh, no countdown. We'll edit it out. So, James, I'm really curious about how you have used this 3D thinking model for your newest company, or maybe one of your newest adventures. You're always creating new things. But the one we want to talk about today, AI Stage Finder. How did this 3D thinking process apply to what you are doing with them?
So you hear from the speaker side all of these quote unquote experts teaching you speaking skills, writing skills, presentation skills, but they have left it up to the speaker to go find the speaking engagements using Google search. What we decided was that the AI tools could do a better job because it could become hyper-focused. You could go inside the box, you could create a profile of Jim Feldman as a speaker, or Kyle as a writer or a podcaster, and then start to build a bot that was laser focused on who you were, who your target audience was, what your message was, where you're willing to travel to, and what you expect to be paid. And so we started offering this to other speakers to beta test it. They loved it so much that we started to continually refine it. And we now got close to 100 different speakers using it, and not one of them have dropped off. What we did not anticipate was that so many speakers don't want to do the work. So AI Stage Finder says, here's an email sequence. Oh, you mean I have to send them out? Yes. Here's a voice script. You mean I have to call them? Yes. So with that, we are now starting to come up with some additional AI integration that will help take some of that away. But what I'm trying to avoid is making it a done for you, because if the speaker is not checking what AI produces, and we know that AI is not always accurate, I don't want to be the one responsible for providing that inaccurate information.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there are many stage or event planners out there that don't want they don't want poorly written, not thought out emails. And you gave me a demo of it the other day, and you were able to pull out some really interesting and very personalizable things. But I think it's interesting that you say speakers don't want to do the work, and I've had the same problem. Like they also would like to just have somebody else memorize their talks or practice their talks or their concepts of their ideas. Um, so it's a common thing, but I think that one of the biggest things is that these people, probably as a result or of becoming the person that would make for a great speaker and have a lot of great things to say from the stage, they're very, very busy. And so there's this constant contest of where to spend their time and attention. And it can be really difficult to make the right choice in that all the time. And especially with something like this or practicing your talk, it's very important, but not very urgent. And so sometimes this gets put on the back burner.
Well, if you think about the fact that the average meeting has already booked their speakers within a 90-day window, because they've got to promote it and do everything else, then you've got 90 days in essence to create the speech should you get the booking. So what I find from a lot of speakers is they focus getting the speech ready, and then that event, which would have been a perfect fit, has already passed, and so now we're into the following year. So it's the old story, if you build it, they will come. Well, they've already built it. They've already got the event. Go after the RFP, figure it out, and if they have interest, then you figure out what the speech is going to be. So as an example, when I'm giving a speech, I customize it all the time. I have no canned speeches. I have a general idea of what I want to cover, but my language is different. My information is different depending on the audience. So for me, I'm just trying to say something more general in the fact that I'm going to help your audience go from confused to confident. I'm going to show you the value proposition of using AI. I'm going to show you how AI can run your business, give you insights, make you more money, save you time. And I'm going to show you that if you're not using it, your competitor is, and your competitor is going to put you out of business because they do things so much better, so much faster than you do the old way. I refer to it as riding a bicycle or getting in a Porsche Cabriolet. Which one gets you there faster?
Porsche, in most cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, let's think about what other challenges that speakers would be facing who this tool is ideal for. Do you think, I mean, they don't want to do the work, so usually they're not searching for stages, but they're probably also a lot of times finding the wrong stages or bad stages, and they're wasting their time pursuing the wrong stages. And it seems like this can create really good curated results.
It can not only get curated results, but it learns. And so if the output, let's make a scenario. I'm going to put into my stage finder, which has been created for me, let's say Las Vegas, let's say November 2025. I have 4 topics that I have put in there. It will then go and it will look in Las Vegas. It will then look in November. It will then look for those topics, which are generic topics, i.e., leadership, innovation, etc. Look for those SEO words and then give me a list of up to 10 of those events. It will then give me a confidence rating of what it got off the internet. And then I can take the ones with the highest confidence rating initially and have it create what are the learning objectives, what are the challenges, create a SWOT analysis of the sponsor, create a SMART plan for the speaker, create the opening introductory email, add to it a 500-word article, followed by 4 more follow-up emails, all in about 5 minutes.
So what I'm hearing from this in terms of customer problems is sometimes they could be missing out on good opportunities because they don't know exactly how to proceed in developing or advancing this partnership or relationship.
Well, all the Google search does is it gives you a list. It says, okay, here's 20 events that are going on in this time frame in Las Vegas. That's it. Doesn't match to you, doesn't give any insights to you. You got to open up, you got to read the RFP, you got to read the organization, and then make a decision. Our tool does all that for you. So for less than what they get as a typical speaking fee, the average speaker, our conversation is, look, let's assume you're getting X as a speaker. If we charge you for one speech, every other speech is a plus. If you don't think that this is going to pay for you with one speech in 12 months, don't buy it. It's not good for you. If on the other hand, you would like one speech a month, then your contribution is the first month and your ROI is the next 11. So it's 11 times ROI. There's not a lot of those out there.
So based on what you're saying, I also want to like identify maybe some of the unique advantages of this process. And what I'm hearing is like curated research based on my ideal clients. It's customized and self-learning, so it gets better over time. And it's way faster than just searching and doing this on my own. And I've got other things to be doing.
Look, you're getting a strategist, you're getting a copywriter, you're getting a researcher, you're getting a personal tutor, all in a matter of seconds. And you're getting a tutor that is also being trained in your voice, and your feedback helps that tutor to learn. So you're working smarter, you're working faster, it costs you less than what you get from one speech. And from our standpoint, it shouldn't be a big issue. Plus, we partnered up with PayPal that if you have a reasonable credit score, PayPal will finance it for 6 months at 0% interest. So you're not even paying for it for 6 months. I don't know what else we could do.
Mm-hmm. And some of the outcomes that we could expect from this, obviously making more money from speaking fees, speaking more connections with clients. Anything else?
Well, part of it is that in your discussion with your Mr. Spock, you start to talk about what other streams of income can we suggest to this partner? What other opportunities are out there? So, for instance, I have said to speakers, I charge a fee for the day, not for the keynote. You want me to do 4 breakouts? Same price. You want me to do a breakout and a workshop? Same price. You want me to do a breakout, a workshop, and a keynote? Same price. And then I will say to the meeting planner, look at how much money I just saved you by hiring me. You've got a fixed cost of me, and you don't have to hire someone for the breakout, the workshop, etc. Suddenly, they see the value proposition, and they will parcel it out differently. They'll say, okay, his keynote was, pick a number. I'm going to just pick a number, $10,000. And we were paying $2,500 for breakout speakers. So if I'm a breakout speaker, they just saved $2,500, which means my keynote just dropped to $7,500. If they give me 2 breakouts, that's $5,000. My keynote just dropped to $5,000. And they're very excited about that because it impacted their bottom line. From my standpoint, I already flew out there. I'm already in a hotel room. What difference does it make to me if I do 1 keynote, 3 breakouts, 4 breakouts, 1 keynote? I'm already there.
A lot of cases that could be a real benefit to you, speaking in front
Absolutely.
of more potential clients and things.
Yes.
Okay. I'd love to hear maybe some stories and moments from you, particularly when maybe you were feeling some of the way that your clients do before AI Stage Finder. You've been speaking for a long time, and I'm certain that you've mastered this process, and your reputation makes it a lot easier to open doors. So this may be some time ago, but was there a time where you were frustrated with the amount of work that was coming into finding and researching? Maybe you were finding the wrong stages, wasted a lot of time at events that you spoke at that didn't pan out or weren't good for you. Or maybe you missed out on good speaking opportunities because you simply didn't have the right insights to move the relationship forward. And answer this in as specific of a time and place in your life as possible.
Well, I think it's fair to say that most speakers are always looking for their next speaking engagement.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty with that is that it's not scalable. You're constantly speaking. They don't hire you back the next year because they've already heard you. Not necessarily true, but that's how they think. And so you're constantly looking for additions to fill your dance card. I use speaking to get long-term consulting and advisory. So I'm using it from the platform to basically soft sell who I am and have the guys and ladies in the background going, wow, this guy could be an asset to us. Let's talk to him after the speech and see if there's a longer term opportunity. So let's go back to my earlier comment. Let's say my talk is $10,000. My consulting could be $100,000. That's 10 speeches. You get consulting at $100,000 and they like you, they'll bring you back.
Mm-hmm.
You do a $10,000 speech and they love you, the likelihood of you coming back is not very high because every year they want new blood. They want somebody that's fresh. That's not to say that you don't get repeat business, but you typically don't get repeat business the following year. It's every other year, every 3 years, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into COVID, the entire speaking meeting business disappeared because everybody was at home. So you're literally rebuilding from scratch. And when you say because of my reputation, there's a downside to that. Younger people are meeting planners, younger people are decision makers, and they go, well, you've been around a long time. You must be old. I prefer to say I'm mature and I'm experienced.
Did you actually hear that, or was that in an email, or is that more of a
absolutely.
paraphrasing?
Heard it out loud. Out loud.
Where? You don't have
I
to
was
name a
doing
specific event, but like, were you in a conference hall?
I'm gonna name a specific car company, but not their name. I was doing business with them for 20 something years. All of my senior executives were either retiring or asked to leave or to move. And so when that happened, the replacement was younger people. The younger people didn't know who I was, didn't know what my history was. It took forever to get to them. And I finally got to a decision maker, and he said, so how long have you been working with us? And I said, about 26 years. I've done over 1,000 projects. And I started explaining it. He goes, well, then you're old, and you have no idea who our customers are. I was shocked that he said that.
Wow. And this was during the COVID times?
No, this was after COVID.
A little bit after COVID.
Yeah.
So, and there was probably this experience of a lot of these doors closing, starting with COVID. Everybody speaking was a main thing, and we couldn't find those anymore. And we were starting to look for new ways to return to the stage. And these doors that were once open and easy were closing on you.
Well, I think that the doors closed for everybody during COVID.
They closed for everybody, and then, but trying to like return to the field, you were like, this is...
Now you've got a different gatekeeper. Now
Yeah.
you've got someone else that's making the decisions. I mean, for me, COVID wiped out the bulk of my senior level executives across the board.
Mm-hmm.
They were basically given walk-in papers for one reason or another.
Yeah. So you had to go back to the maybe the drawing board, maybe with this company, but you had to drum up new relationships and find new people and find new opportunities.
Well, I didn't find that individual was open. I went back to my client who had retired, and he said, well, most people are getting the same response. If you had already worked at Toyota or Nissan or General Motors or Chrysler or whatever, even though you had that experience, the younger people didn't value that because it was a brave new world. You still are putting drivers in cars. I'm sorry. It's the same story.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Henry Ford once said, if we're not customer driven, our cars won't be either. People still drive cars. It's the same thing. That has not changed.
What was the first stage, or maybe a very early, surprisingly good win of a stage from your early uses of this tool?
Hospitality needed someone for a meeting in regard to tourism. And I gave them insights using AI that literally catapulted them to become first choice.
And this was through a speech? You were showing them in a talk?
This was through both a speech and a consultancy.
And you got that. Was it an email? Hey, we'd love to have you. Was it a call? When was like
It was me following up
Mm-hmm.
and suggesting it, having a discussion. They said, well, we'll look into it. They gave it a little bit of a try with a Zoom call and then asked me to come down and do a live presentation. And it was so well received that they asked me to stay an extra day to do it for another group.
Was it a nice room? What did the room look like?
When you're doing hospitality and tourism, it's always a nice room.
Yeah.
That's typically not a problem.
Give me some details.
Well, again, it depends on where you're going, but that's one of the reasons I like hospitality and tourism. They're always at nice locations.
Yeah.
Depending on the meeting planner's relationship, typically you get a nice room, nice upgrade. I would say in my lifetime, I've probably stayed in 40 to 50 presidential suites.
Was this a
You know, that
presidential
could,
suite that you stayed at for this
in this
story?
particular case, yes.
Ooh.
And a very large food and beverage credit on my account. So rather than trying to take me to dinner and hosting me, they said, hey, we just put the money in your account, go eat whatever you want, charge it to the room, and it's taken care of.
And the room that you spoke in, was it nicely decorated? Did it look over a beach? Anything like that?
Yes, and yes, and yes.
Okay. Did it have a particular smell that you remember?
Ocean, sea,
There we
seawater.
go. Yeah.
Yes. If you think about AI as your assistant, and you think about AI has been trained in every language, trained in every discipline, trained to be a thought leader, a problem solver, an operational accelerator. I refer to AI as assisted insights or accelerated innovation, not this up in the sky, some magic brain. Because the truth is, AI does not think, AI does research. AI goes out and finds stuff and brings it to you like you would send a dog out to go out and find the duck that you shot and make sure that the duck does not get eaten by the dog brings it back if that's the training for the duck. And that's what AI is. AI comes back and says, hey, we got the duck. It's up to you what you do with the duck. Are you going to turn it into soup? Are you going to turn it into a salad? Are you going to put it on a spit? Are you going to barbecue it? Those are all decisions that we have to make once that AI has done what it can do, but you still need to be the implementer or the user.
Amazing. Would you like to hear your story?
My story?
Yes.
What do you mean, hear my story?
This is what this podcast is all about and does.
Yes.
Okay. You must be old, is what he told me. A company that I had been working with for years. I poured my love, my sweat, my brilliance into all of the relationships that I had. I was just coming out of COVID, where speaking, my very favorite thing to do as a service to my listeners, as a way to build relationships, as a way to grow my business. I was entering back into this world that I had so much experience, and I'd found so many things had changed. I was spending a lot of time reaching out to old customers and old contacts, and found that most of the executives that I had worked with had retired. And this new world didn't seem to know me, didn't seem to respect me. And I can remember walking into this one particular office with a new executive, and he asked me, how long have you been working with us? And I said, 26 years. And he said, oh my gosh, you must be old then. You don't know our clients. And I was stunned. I was slack-jawed in this room, in this moment. And I knew that something needed to change. I went back home. I had a call with my client, my old contact from there. And he said, I have a bunch of people that are getting the same response. I had experience, I had insights, I had perspectives, and I had something to share and to serve. And in this brave new world, things seemed to change. And just going back and researching hundreds of new stages, hundreds of new opportunities, all of these things seemed incredibly difficult after the hard-won path that I had done. And I wanted something faster and easier. And so I set out to build something different. I wanted curated research that would look anywhere and any when I wanted to be and give me a curated list of the best speaking opportunities custom fit for me. I wanted something that could learn myself and my style and get better over time. And I wanted to be able to find the speaking opportunities, the lifeblood for my business, faster, vastly faster than a Google search. I wanted a strategist, a copywriter, a researcher, and a tutor all in one. It took a couple of years and a lot of costly and painful mistakes, but I started putting together AI Stage Finder. And in the first few uses of this tool, I remember getting an invitation to speak at a hospitality event, standing on stage, smelling the ocean water, looking over the beach, and speaking about the wonders of AI on so many different levels. And I can remember finishing that talk and walking into a presidential suite, feeling the respect that my authority over the many years of work was met. I had a nice food and beverage credit, and I got to enjoy that same beach that I looked over. And I realized that this platform that I had built could help so many more people other than myself. There were so many speakers, authorities, thought leaders out there just like you that could use this same tool too. And that's what I'm here to teach you about today.
Love it.
Thank you.
Terrific. Now, is this what you do for clients in general? And then that's how your business is monetized?
Yes.
I got lots of people that could use this.
It's fun, huh?
Yeah. And what do you typically charge for that?
Well, we'll talk about that off of a recording. But
I thought we'd stop.
no, this is still on the show. This is my service
Okay.
and my gift on the show as well. And as a speaker and as somebody of great authority like yourself, I am honored to share these kinds of things with you. And I'm glad it made an impact today.
Absolutely, very well done. I want to be mindful of your time, but we have a thing that starts at 5 o'clock that I am hosting. So I've got to get to that and make sure everything is working.
Sounds good. Well, do you have any closing thoughts for us today, and where can we go to learn more about you?
We can go to AI Stage Finder. We can go to Shift Happens. So you've got a link that you're going to put in.
Yes, we'll have a link in the show notes.
That will take people to the site. If it's strictly a speaking conversation, it's shifthappens.com. If it's for the AI Stage Finder, that link you have to put in. And we custom build each one. And we make sure that each one exceeds their expectations.
Beautiful. James Feldman, thank you so much for joining us today on the Story Engine podcast.